Hi, I'm Eric Lloyd, owner of Oregon Risk Management Solutions. I'm a safety consultant. I work with the ag industry and other industries throughout the state of Oregon with their safety training, their OSHA compliance, everything safety related. This is going to be episode 1 of a new film series that we're working on called What Not to Do, where we're going to watch clips, we're going to watch safety fails, we're going to watch occupational mishaps. We're going to talk about what might have led to that, how we could avoid it, what we could learn from it, probably laugh at it along the way. Without further ado, let's look at the first clip. All right, here we go. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, so we're balancing this bucket against the fire extinguisher case using a ladder. I guess there's points for creativity here, but first and foremost, our resident fire marshal Manny would tell us that we're blocking access to the fire extinguisher, which we can't do. And then I'd wonder about what happens when that bucket gets too full and it tips the ladder over and brains somebody who's walking by it, spills water everywhere. That's a bad day. Oh my gosh, okay, the ladder's already tipping over. Yeah, no, we're well on our way to, remember that episode of Jackass where they have like the big hand that's angled back and they thwack the guys when they're coming through the hallway? This is going to be like set up to just tip over and brain somebody who's coming around the corner, probably carrying a big pot of soup or something like that. Yeah, this is no good. So what are some regulations and rules that would stop this from happening? First and foremost, NFPA code, Oregon OSHA would always tell us that we have to maintain clear access around any of our emergency equipment, things we might need to get to in a hurry, like fire extinguishers, breaker panels, emergency exits, any of that. Good rule of thumb is to just keep a 36-inch square clear in front of any of that stuff. 5 or more gallons of water at whatever the weight of a gallon of water is going to be a pretty hefty weight that runs the risk of tipping over and landing on somebody. I guess not to mention, what about the risk of there being any electrical stuff on the ground or things like that? We've got all that uncontrolled water. This seems like a booby trap that's been set up or something. Like we're just waiting to attack somebody with it here. All right, next clip. Oh no, that's not good at all. No, we shouldn't have gone in there. Don't do that. Now we're just prying away on it. Is it climbing over the top? He really wants to not be in there. Where's our emergency stop when we need it? He's looking for it. He's really trying to get out. I already made it out. They seem pretty happy. That could have gone a different way. This felt like one of those videos that was going to end in something tragic. So why did he walk in there? Odds are we left something in there. We needed to go make a repair. We're just going to do something really quick. I'd be willing to bet that a piece of this is I've been in there a million times and never had something happen before, right? This is a pretty clear failure of following our energy control procedures, our lockout tagout procedures. You know, they were going to that panel. They know that the kill switch is there somewhere, but they don't seem to know exactly where it is. Maybe it's not clearly labeled. But before we go into something like that, we should have been hitting that kill switch, making sure it wasn't going to activate before we went in there. And above and beyond just hitting the kill switch, making sure we got it actually locked out so the next guy is not going to come along and reactivate it, not realizing somebody's in there. But I'd be willing to bet that was not his first time doing that. This was I've done it a bunch of times and just never had a problem before. All right, on to the next one. Classic. Forklift with a forklift. Got to reach just a little bit higher. Oh no, and there goes the cargo. Oh my gosh. That was an expensive mistake. What do I think the first mistake they made here was? Oh my gosh. Never should have scooped up that the little forklift with the big one. That's a pretty no-brainer, not going to go there. Well, so what's the correct way to accomplish this task at hand is using a forklift. Get a bigger machine, maybe bring in like a telehandler or something that's got a higher reach, a further reach. It all comes down to just using the right tool for the job, right? We think we're cutting some corners and we're saving some time. We probably think we're saving money. Hey, how much money is it going to cost? How much time is it going to take to go get that bigger forklift, go get that telehandler or other machine? We don't have time for that. It's fine. We'll just cut this corner. But then as we drop that expensive piece of equipment on the ground, how much money did we actually save by doing this? Frankly, I think they're lucky that it was the cargo that slipped off of the forks and not the guy. So obviously this was filmed overseas based on the writing on the forklifts and stuff. In the US, I mean, this is a clear violation of what federal and Oregon OSHA would tell us our restrictions are as far as, cargo weight limits for the machine that we're lifting, with, and just generally the concept that maybe don't lift a forklift with another forklift. All right, let's go to the next one. We're just trying to like kick the wall down here. Oh my gosh, this ain't, and we slipped and fell. And he like, oh my gosh, and there it went. Well, that dude's lucky. So is that the correct way to demo a wall? Maybe not quite ideal. Obviously, he knew that what he was doing was sketchy when he runs up there and kicks it and then runs away again and goes up to try it again and runs away again. I think you can tell that his gut says this is not a good idea and something's going to go wrong. You know what stood out to me when I watched this too is he wiped out as he went to do it. It looked like he tripped on like a broom or a rake or something like that that was laying on the ground. There's obviously a bunch of other debris and everything there. And you know, when we look at injury statistics and trends, slips, trips, and falls are the #1 cause of workplace injury pretty consistently across all industries. Did he avoid getting smushed by the big wall that's working on tipping over on him? Yep, he managed that. But there's been some pretty gnarly injuries that have occurred just from slipping and falling, even ground level like that. All around, I think he's pretty lucky to have walked away from that the way he did. All right, we got one last clip for today. I can already tell you, I hate what's about to happen here. I hate these stand-up forklifts. Oh my gosh, yep. Holy cow. He's alive. Maybe not pinned underneath that thing. I hate these forklifts so much. They are so unstable. I am aware of a handful of fatalities that have occurred with those in Oregon just within recent years. Look how high his forks are up in the air even too. You know, one of the basic principles, one of the first initial lessons anytime we're doing a forklift certification course is trying to maintain the best center of gravity that we can. So keeping our cargo or even just our forks and our mast down as low as we can is going to maintain the best stability as we can. And with these stupid, skinny little forklifts that are have such a narrow wheelbase, are already such greater risk of tipping over. That's bonkers that he was driving around the way he did with the forks up in the air. You know, I look at this and I see him immediately trying to like jump out and crawl out too. And frankly, I think, you know, if it is going over, his best bet is to just glom on to whatever he can in there and try and ride it over. In a more traditional forklift, you know, we ask people to wear their seatbelt. We teach them to hug the steering wheel, grab it and hang on. And I'd sure be trying to do the same thing there. He's lucky that he didn't get pinned underneath the edges of it or get his leg caught or something like that. Man, I'm watching it a second time as it started to tip. He turns around and tries to push it back up too. You ain't going to win that. He definitely did hit that bump there, and that gets the machine bouncing to start this whole thing. That's another really basic piece of the forklift training that we do, is to watch for uneven surfaces that we're going to be driving on and avoid that. You know, the tiniest little bump that we might drive over and not even notice in a tractor or a pickup or a vehicle with a more stable wheelbase and lower center of gravity can go over those little things. But when we've got cargo or even just our weight way high up in the air, a little bit of travel down here turns into a lot of travel up here and can really get that machine unstable. That's totally inappropriate to be moving that thing over uneven terrain like that. All right, that's all our videos for today. This has been the first episode of What Not to Do. If you enjoyed this, if you enjoyed watching it, if you learned something from it, if you want to see more, like it, share it, tell your friends, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us some support on this, and we'll keep making them. Thanks for your time.